Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're reviewing a very cool knife loaned to me by Mr. Eddie. This is the second review of the 3 knives he loaned to me. I did 1 review already and I've done the 3 unboxings. So today we're looking at the Microtech Socom Bravo Mini SE titanium handle, bead blasted, partial serrated, bronze titanium pivot collar, carbon fiber scales knife. Wow, say that quickly. Yeah, let's take a look at this. All right, today we're looking at the Microtech Socom Mini. This, the Socom Bravo Mini. This is the SE version. This is the one made by REK Knives. It's made over in China. Ooh, let me do that again. It's made by REK Knives over in China. Very cool little etching on there. It is kind of, this is one of the older ones because it's still using M390. It's not older, but it's older because Microtech came out with their proprietary M390 MK steel, right? So this is the M390. All right, so the knife name is the Socom Bravo Mini, SE in particular. That's the knife name. The knife manufacturer, well, the knife designer manufacturer, I guess the knife designer is technically Microtech or probably Marfion, right? He probably did the designing on this one. So that is the designer. The company, the knife manufacturer, is technically Microtech, but they outsourced this to REK Knives over in China, which did an outstanding, phenomenal job. This is a very aggressive knife. This is the mini version of the regular Socom Bravo Elite, the bigger version, which is a cool knife, but it's huge. I mean, it's like over 9.5 inches. It's gigantic. Most of those also have the tip down as opposed to tip up, and you know, it's right hand tip down kind of carry. It's weird. Not a big fan of that. You look at this beautiful fuller, you think, oh, that's going to be great for reverse flicking and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's kind of misleading a little bit, right? It's very well designed, very well made. The action is beautiful. It does close nicely. Could it be tuned to be a little better? I think it could be. Could you put skiffs in there and make it better and tune that detent? I think so. But it's very aggressive, very unique design. I mean, you look at this thing, this is going to be like, if you wanted I think the other one has a glass breaker, but I could see that as a glass breaker, why that would make sense, because you could hold that and kind of pop something. I have large hands with big meaty fingers and smaller, shorter fingers, right? So when I grip this, this is about the same size of an extra large hands with regular fingers, a double extra large hands with thinner fingers, right? Definitely have extra room. So extra large hands with big meaty fingers, maybe a double extra large with big meaty fingers. You could probably get up there. You can't really choke up. Wouldn't recommend it. It's too close to the choil. It's not really enough room there. Very aggressive jimping everywhere. I mean, this jimping is super, super stinking aggressive. It's like, it'll rip your hand up if you're doing a lot of hard work. So I feel like it's made more for gloves. Just keep that in mind, right? So that's the materials on the handle. It's titanium, it's carbon fiber, beautiful. Is this twill or is it marbled? I don't think it might be twill. Looks like it might be twill, but it's a nice twill, right? Beautiful back spacer all the way there with a kind of a little hole in there. It's a nice touch. Everything lined up really well. The clip is pretty functional. It's pretty stiff though. See, I mean, it's a strong clip. It does have a huge place for a lanyard loop. You can see that there. So if you like lanyards, there you go. Lots of the knife sticks out. It's not super deep carry. I mean, it's relatively deep carry, but it's not deep carry. Where I would consider deep carry is there, and where I consider completely hidden is there. So it's going to be about right there in your pocket. The ramp is not terrible. It's not really steep one way or the other, so it should go in and out of the pocket relatively nicely. It's going over carbon fiber. It's not superly aggressive. That helps. It's a semi-bolstered sort of kind of a frame lock, but it's not. This is sort of behind here, but it's not really, right? You still can, you're still here on the frame lock, so you can get potentially on that. I can reverse flick this. I just have to hold it up a little bit higher. You know, the nice thing about this with this long part here makes reverse flicking actually pretty nice, because you can hold your hand up there, and I was doing it really well before. Now, this is not a knife that I probably would normally carry, because it's just, the shape is very aggressive, very industrial, very combat sort of feeling, which is not my cup of tea. I mean, it's still a great tool. Still be a great tool for use and everything, but it does feel, you know, if you like that, like, oh, got a knife, you know, this is going to definitely do it for you, man. Especially since it's got that little kind of boom kind of little symbol on there. So, you know, definitely tells you combat, you know, maybe military kind of purposes. So I could see someone in the military really using this, especially serrated, which is nice, cutting ropes and stuff. If you're out there doing hard work, this definitely will do that for you. I think you would not be disappointed. T8s all around, looks like a T15 or 20. Don't think I measured that. Did I do that in the open opening? I probably did, but I can't remember. Let's say here, this is a T10. Is it a T10? It might actually be bigger than that. Is it a T15? So here's a T. Where are we? There we are, T15. Yeah, it's a T15. Okay, so a T15. And I believe these other ones are T8s, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, T8s. All right, so, I mean, not super small screw heads, which is nice, you know, for a hard use kind of sort of knife. That's neat. That's neat. All right. It is a cool design. It's well put together. There's not a lot of spaces. I mean, for the price of what you pay, I believe this one's normally around $300, $350, somewhere around there. I think you can get them on sale right now. I might have a link for it, but they might be on sale right now as well. So just keep that in mind. If that's still applicable at the time I dropped the video, but at least at the time I'm recording it, they were. But the thumb studs work really well. Nice volcano, easy to access. They're not difficult to get in there. You put your hands naturally and they want to open. I like that. Both left and right-handed, your hands naturally just want to open it. Reverse flick over here works really nicely as long as your thumb is out of the way right there, right? So see my thumb's right up there. So I got to kind of try to keep that. Okay. Why? Got to keep the thumb out of the way. So that's kind of the thing to deal with. I think this knife is made for smaller hands, that just the other one was just too big. So it is nice in that regard. So if you really love the design of the other one, it's just too big, I think you're gonna dig this. Frame lock works well. Steel bar insert, over travel stop in there. Let's make sure of that. Do we have an over travel? Where's my flashlight? Yeah, over travel stop for sure. All right, so that means you're not gonna bend it out. So that's cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, everything's pretty solid. I like the brass accents on there. That's about it. Just the brass pivot collars. That's all you get. And you get the little boom boom kind of emblem there. This fuller is rather deceiving to me. It's like you can't really get to it. You might be able to get to it right in there, but it's not enough room for me to really get to it, right? So I can sort of get into it, but it would be nice to have that access down there to be able to use it. It's almost like, I hate faux fullers that are just there for looks. To me, it's like, this is cool if I can use it. I can't use it. It's hidden. So to me, a fuller, that's a tease and frustrating. So to me, it's like that's a wasted effort there, you know, because if it's not usable, it's for looks, and all the milling and everything you had to do for that was just wasted dollars. You probably could save, I don't know, $5, $10, $15, $20 on the blade alone cost. I don't know. I don't make knives, but I'm just saying, it seems to me you could save costs, right, for the end user and someone like me if you do that. If you just think it's because, oh, it looks cool, and if the people who buy it say, oh, that looks cool, and they're the only ones who are going to buy it, well, then it matters, right? But for me, it's like, well, it looks cool, but it's not useful, so that's annoying, right? I feel that way. I've not bought knives for that very reason. It's very frustrating to think I have a fuller and I don't. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on that one. You probably don't care. All right, M390 blade steel, pretty nice. I don't know what the heat treat. I'm sure Reich does a pretty good job. It's a pretty aggressive thin. We're going to do the measurements here in a second. It's got a nice flat grind. It's not super thin. The serration is very sharp. We'll definitely do some cutting and some sawing there. Edge is nice and sharp. Yeah, so that's cool. Definitely cool. How does it close? It is a frame lock. You do have a nice cutaway. There's a little chamfering on there. Easy access. It's not difficult. It doesn't tire your hand out. This is pretty stiff in the frame lock, so I would probably tune this a bit because it is pretty stiff in there. And it's not drop shutty as I would like. And I'd probably put skiffs in there. I'm sure it probably takes the 8mm typical skiffs that Microtech uses on all their knives. It kind of looks like it's going to be those big old cage bearings in there with the giant pivot. May not be, but let's say maybe it's not 8mm, maybe it's 6mm. But either way, they're big. So that's cool. And usually their 8mm cage bearings are multi-row, and they'll have like 16, 18, 24, whatever kind of cage bearings in there. And Skiff makes some to replace those, and they're nice. They actually help quite a bit. So a cool, interesting design for sure. All right. The blade, like I said, it's not super thin, not super slicey. It does have serrations, M390, some billboarding on there. It's kind of wasted, I think. It's a beautiful little satin hue there, but then this bead blasted sort of thing going on there. Wasted fuller, that's kind of, to me, that's a bummer. All right, so let's do the weights and measurements on this guy. How much do you weigh? Come on, tell me. All right, let's see. All right, so this knife is 3.3 ounces, which is not terrible for a little guy. That's actually better than I thought. Thought it was gonna be a little heavier in some regards. All right, let's see the overall length on this thing. So the big ones, they were huge. This one is overall measurements is 7 3/4, so it's not bad. Overall handle length that you have on this one is just at 4 inches. Yeah, just 4 inches. So that's pretty good, especially for my hands, right? So let's look at the overall blade length. We're going about all the way from the tip. It's about 3 3/8 of an inch. Overall cutting length, we are right at 3 3/16 of an inch, I'm going to guess. 3 3/16. That's what it looks like to me. All right, 3 3/16. Let's see the blade stock thickness. It's not super thin, but it's not super thick. I'm going to guess maybe 130, 140 thousandths of an inch. Let's measure that. All right. So we're going to go all the way down here. I might have to hold this up so we can get in there. 132 thousandths of an inch. Let's go back up here. 132 thousandths of an inch. So it's not terrible. It's definitely not 120 thousandths of an inch, which is typical, but it's not like you're getting up to the 140, 150 thousandths where you're getting up to like the big overbuilt knives. So that's nice. I bet the Socom Bravo Elite, the big version, is much thicker. I bet that's thicker. Maybe it's the same blade stock thickness, but I bet it's thicker. I mean, it's fidgety. It's nice. It does work in the hand, but it's very, it's cool looking. And if you like a knife that's cool looking, you'll love this. If you want a fidgety, good EDC, for like I do, it's not quite fitting the bill, but I'm appreciating everything about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm appreciating everything about it. The target audience is absolutely going to be enamored with this. It's done in every way possible that you would not be disappointed, I think. All right, so what is the budget category on this one? It's definitely, the regular price is going to be over $300. That's what I saw. It was over $300, so that puts it in the very bottom of the high-end category. As of this video, this was on sale at Blade HQ for like $258, $260. So it definitely puts it in the very high end of the regular category. So that's a good deal right now. I don't know if it's going to be on sale at the time you watch this video, but if it is, we'll probably have a Blade HQ link down below, and it'll be my affiliate link. So if you happen to like it and you want to buy it there, go for it, right? Help the channel out. You don't have to, but that's what the link is for. It may not say Blade HQ, and it may have some like a short version. Just keep that in mind. It's to Blade HQ for this knife on sale. So if it's still available and on sale. All right. So, and there may be other versions of it too. So use the affiliate link below for Blade HQ or one of the other stores that I have affiliate links. Thank you. All right. That's what the price category is. So what's the purpose? EDC heart use collection piece. It could be a collection piece. If you love collecting Microtech, absolutely. Yeah, just get that out of the way. I consider budget and super budget knives non-collection pieces. That's my rule. But everything else could be a collection piece. As far as EDC, absolutely EDC. This is the more EDC size, very friendly, very regular, everyday. Now EDC for military, combat, whatever, the bigger one, absolutely. Wearing heavy gloves and combat, yeah. This one is great for regular, normal EDC. Let's say you come back from combat and you love that knife, you want something that's, there you go. There you go, right? Hard use, I think it's absolutely hard use as far as a frame lock. Now, mind you, it's a frame lock. It's not a fixed blade, it's not an axe. So as far as a frame lock, this can do a great job. It's not a pry bar. It's not an axe. Don't chop wood with it. If you're in a tough situation, life or death, and this is your tool, I think you'll do well. I think it'll survive, it'll do well, but it'll definitely get abused, might even get a little damaged, but it'll keep you alive, I think. And in that regard, it might be worth more to you because of what it helped you get through, right? But that being said, that's not, I think, its intended purpose. I mean, I think you can cut, dog food, cat litter, fertilizer, mulch. You can definitely, cut a few branches. I think this one absolutely could do all of that. You could get in boxes, letters, envelopes, and other presents that you would want to open up around the house or around the holidays, anniversary presents, maybe. I don't know. I think it's very useful. I think you're definitely going to find it EDC hard use in that regard. Overall design, handles open and closing textures. I mean, for what its purpose and its intended audience, the textures, the aggressiveness, it is fantastic. And I'm recognizing that this was not designed for someone like me necessarily. Maybe if I was going out in a pseudo sort of combat sort of situation, I need a small one, I would really see the value, practicality, especially wearing gloves in a cold environment. Having all that textures, really make sure you don't drop it. That's great, right? It's great. Maybe I'd get the bigger one, maybe I wouldn't, right? Because depending on what I need, the size. But I think opening and closing is really nice. The thumb studs work well right-handed. I have no issues whatsoever, right? Works really nicely. Left-handed, I think it's really pretty nicely as well. I'm not typically a lefty, but I don't have a problem left-handed. It's a little strong on the detent. I'd probably tune it, maybe put skiffs in there, make it a little nicer action, but that's me. The lockup on this one's a good 30%. It's in there, no blade play. We don't have any pivot lash. No, let's listen to that detent. Nice and clickety. Any detent lash? No, it's in there solid. No detent. Listen one more time. Very, very solid in there. So there you go. Nice and clickety. So opening, closing. When you do close it, getting to the lock bar is really super nice. It does drop well. You could tune that if you wanted to. So right now it's a very drop shut, control drop shut. So for someone might find that very, very, very nice. Has a big, huge lanyard. If in those types of tactical situations, the lanyard does make a lot of sense. It really does, especially if you've got gloves on and you're out there and you're trying to reach for something. It allows you to pick it up and not drop it. It could be very helpful. So I can see a lanyard in that particular situation, and I don't mind the priority of the lanyard because that's the purpose, the intended use of this knife. I get it, right? Fidget factor scale. Thumb studs work really well. That's it. It's just thumb studs. So I'm going to give it a 2. Maybe a 2. I'm going to give it a 2. It's 2 on a fidget factor. It may be a 2.5, maybe a 2.5. I don't know. Yeah, 2.5. It's because I'm deducting because this pseudo faux fuller tease thing here. Yeah, I mean I would give it a 2.5, maybe a 3, but this you lost points on this one. So as far as I'm concerned, just drop it a little bit. Give me some access. Let me get in there. Make this even a little smaller. I don't know. Get the bolster. I don't know. To me, that's frustrating. So I'm going to give that a 2. Fidgety goodness. It works really, really well. Is it 100? Not quite. Not quite. I think I'm going to give this a 90, maybe a 93. Give it a 93, which gives it an A, not an A minus. 94. We'll do 94 and it's an A. 93 might be an A minus. So 94, it's an A. I'll give it an A. It's not quite an A, strong A, or an A plus, or 100. It's not that. But it's solid. It's solid. You lose points on the left-handed reverse flicking. You lose points on catching here because this is the pin stops, right? The thumb studs actually are the blade stop right up here. So you lose a little bit because that gets in the way. Is this recommended? Now, mind you, I get that who this was made for. This is not made for someone like me who wants a regular everyday EDC sort of a little kind of knife like this, which is great, right? Or a little semi, mid-tech custom kind of little proteon like this. It's not that. This is meant for more aggressive situations where textures and aggressiveness of this knife is going to work well. Maybe you're out camping, hiking, whatever. I don't know. Maybe you're in the military. That doesn't matter. I think for that purpose, this knife, I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to recommend it for its target audience, for its intended purpose. It's meant to be a smaller version of a bigger, smaller version of a bigger knife that maybe other people would very much like to carry, but it's just too big. Here's your solution. It's great. So yeah, I'm going to recommend it for that. Is it something I would like to go buy and carry? Probably not. Never. Yeah, probably never. But it's cool. It's simply cool. It's made well. It's absolutely fantastic. I understand the principle behind it, and I can appreciate the design and why they did it. That doesn't take away from it. Just because I can appreciate and like that doesn't mean that I have to want to own it, right? You can appreciate and like knives without having to want to own them, and that's okay. That's okay. If you didn't know that, it's okay. It really is. So if you're like, oh, you cannot say that if you don't want to own it. Well, sorry you disagree. I disagree with you, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree. That's all right. We can have different opinions, but tell me why. Tell me why you disagree. I've told you why I disagree, but you can tell me why you disagree, right? I'd like to hear your point of view, but don't just tell me I'm stupid or I'm dumb. That's no benefit to me or to anybody else who's going to read your comment. Other people, trust me, there'll be a lot of people reading your comments. So make it something helpful for them. Make it something substantive, right? That's something that of substance for them. All right. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, entertaining, or worthwhile, would you please consider hitting that like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone out there who watches the videos, who likes the videos, who enjoys the content, who's part of the live streams. Thank you. Thank you, seriously. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, hit that notification button so you can be notified of future content, like this video and other videos. And a big, huge shout out. Thank you to all my channel members. You guys are huge. You really helped me to do things way sooner than I ever thought I could be able to do, and encourage me when I didn't quite want to keep going. And you help the channel overall. You help the channel, continue to be able to do the weekly giveaways. You help me cover shipping when I check out knives like this, because this gets expensive checking out knives like this. Right now I've got like 6 knives in, and just right now I have 6 knives that got in and I have to ship back out, and that's that's potentially 6 boxes I have to ship out. So that gets expensive, right? 6 times 15, so 60, and that's like 90 bucks just in 1 week, right? So there you go. It does get expensive, and I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you. Thank you. As a small way for me to say thank you, I do 2 cool things for channel members. I do a once-a-month members exclusive giveaway. It's not just a budget banger. It's usually a nicer knife. So I want to make sure it's something nice. Because you've been so generous to me, I want to be generous back to you. So just know that. The other thing is every brand new channel member gets a channel sticker. So if you're a brand new channel member and you've never gotten a channel sticker, email me with your name and address and I'll mail you a sticker. That applies for anybody who's been a channel member all along, or who was a channel member and is a channel member now. As long as you're currently a channel member and you never got a sticker, never emailed me, you're welcome to email me too for that channel member sticker. All right, so I appreciate you. I appreciate the channel members. I appreciate the subscribers. I appreciate everyone who just watches the content. Thank you. Thank you. If you haven't already, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.